Rome is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Europe. For that reason, it is a good idea to prepare beforehand for your visit. Some cultural differences will be useful to know about in advance. That's why we're bringing you our list of things to know before going to Rome. So come on, let's go. The Vatican is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. It is not surprising that this tiny country in a city is constantly full of tourists. However, on Wednesdays and Sundays, when Pope Francis appears in the gathering, the Vatican sees even more people. So, if you want to see everything peacefully, avoid those weekdays. There is no need to talk about the other main Christian holidays. Rome boasts amazing history and architecture, but unfortunately, there are also a lot of tourist scams. Before arrival, do thorough research on the best ways to go about exploring all of your must-sees. You can find cheap tickets for some of the biggest attractions, like the Colosseum, at this site all year round. In addition to booking tours, doing a bit of background research on the history and current culture is also helpful. Also, a lot of people will warn you about the pickpockets before going to Rome. And they're not wrong. You should always keep your wallet and purse safe and close to you. Rome is a big, busy city, so it's not unusual for crimes like this to happen. That's why you should make sure that you're safe while sightseeing in Rome. Our next tip: wear more covered clothes. Although during the hot and steamy Rome summers, wearing shorts, short dresses, and other skin-showing clothing sounds very appealing, you should rethink wearing it. You gotta understand that you're probably going to visit a lot of churches and museums, and in Rome, it's not considered appropriate to be showing the naked body in these institutions. So, if you want to dress light, don't forget to take a conservative cover-up for visiting sacred sites such as the Sistine Chapel. In Rome, you really don't need to leave a tip. Waiters' salaries in this most touristy Italian capital are quite big and comparable to engineers' salaries. In addition, if you leave the money in the restaurant, you can even offend the waiter, especially if you know him personally. Italians assume that human sincerity cannot be bought with tips. So, if you feel like leaving some tip, it is customary to just leave the change. While coming to a foreign country, travelers are often reluctant to use public transport. In Rome, you can do that safely. Buy a public transport map, purchase a one-off or regular ticket, and your tour of the big city will be a lot more pleasant. However, be aware of the pickpockets that work in people-full buses. The metro will connect you to most sites, and from each particular station, several important sites will be within walking distance. In Rome, you can drink water from public taps. Don't spend money on water in plastic bottles. Throughout the entire city of Rome, you will find valves with not only safe-to-drink, but also delicious water. But remember, out of respect for other users of drinking water, do not put your head under the tap. If you want to refresh yourself, better moisten a scarf or splash a bit of water by hand. Some important sites, like the Colosseum, Vatican City, and some museums, will have long queues lasting over an hour. Since you have limited time in the city, why not spend a bit more to skip the queue and save time to see more? You can do this by booking a tour or buying a skip the queue ticket that allows you to enter the site at a certain time of the day. We suggest that you do your accommodation research before going to Rome. Although staying outside of the historic city center may be cheaper at first glance, it's essential to look at the bigger picture. That means taking into consideration how much you will be spending on transportation to your tours and sightseeing. It is necessary to be aware that Rome is one of the most famous European destinations, and there can be a shortage of accommodations. For that reason, make sure to look up and book your accommodation well in advance. With these tips, you are now perfectly prepared for your next trip to Rome. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.